Welcome to the Tim Buxelbaum Show. My name is Timbo Slice, and you're watching my episode of the program. This is episode 78. If it was Reverse Monday, it's actually episode 87. It is not Reverse Monday where everything's mixed up and backward like somebody who don't know how to read or spell. Like somebody who don't know how to read or spell, which pick one or the other. Pick one. You could be bad at reading, but don't be also bad at spelling. If you're bad at those two things, you might be a dumbass. But hey, some people are just dumbasses all around, and they got nothing good at them. They got nothing good about them. Nothing about them is good. Nothing about them is smarmy. That's how I feel when I say the word smart. Smart. I don't like that word. I don't like the word smart, because just saying it makes you look and sound schmarmy. Almost the same thing. Schmarmy and smart are pretty much the same thing for the same word. The same word for the same, almost the same word. That smart guy, what are you, a smart ass? Smarmy people are smart. Anyway, I don't like dumb people, but I don't like saying the word smart either. How about we just stick in between, we just say, hey, how about we just not talk about intelligence because it's racist to talk about intelligence. It makes you look racist against handicapped people, man. I watched a YouTube video of somebody who said they had an IQ of 70. And they were very articulate in the video, and they were like, well, I have these limitations. It's hard for me to do simple jobs, like I got a fast food job, and I couldn't even learn how to work the damn fry machine. The machine that makes fries, because I have an IQ of 70, so that was tough for me. It's like, if you really had an IQ of 70, you wouldn't be able to even articulate that you're bad at stuff. You would just be like, what did they do? I don't remember. I guess I got fired from some job I used to have. I don't know why. I was pretty good at it, I thought. That's what a 70 IQ person is actually like. If you're a 70 IQ and you know it and you know your limitations, that takes a genius. That means you probably aren't a 70 IQ. Yeah, I got fired because it took extra articulation. It just took extra brain. It just was too much for me to learn how to work the frying machine. It took me more time than the average person. According to this data, the average person with an intelligence quotient of 100 would learn how to work the frying machine in about 2 hours. For me, it took 4 weeks, and I didn't learn how, so actually it took an unlimited amount of time because I kept forgetting, because I have an IQ of 70. But so for me, it's impossible to learn simple tasks. It's just more difficult for me to do simple tasks. Like, that's not an IQ of 70. If you actually had an IQ of 70, you'd be like, what the hell is wrong with this damn thing? It's not working. I tried kicking it, and I tried kicking the damn thing. It's broken. It's broken. It's not because I'm dumb. Who are you calling dumb? Who the hell you think you is? Why'd you fire me for not... It's the damn fry machine's fault. It's broken. It's not my fault. How the hell do I get home? How do I get out of here? That's how a real IQ of 70 person talks. They don't go, well, it's more difficult me to conduct myself in high intense social situations. No, a real IQ 70 person doesn't acknowledge that. They just plow through whatever situation they're in, and the consequences just happen to them without them evaluating them. They just plow through any situation. Hey! Are you in line? I don't care. I didn't see you in line. I didn't see that there was a line. I'm budging my... I don't give a crap. I don't know. IQ is 70 is pretty low, but the average is 100, I believe. So that means the average person is 100. 100 sounds okay. 100 sounds pretty good. You know, 3 numbers. It's at least 100, so you're not like a complete idiot. You don't feel like an idiot. But that's also only the average. So the average person, in my opinion, is pretty smart if it's 100, because that means anything above that, you're like smart, very smart. Like 110. Even a 110 IQ person is above average. And that's not that, doesn't sound that great on paper. We have an IQ 110. It's like nobody gets impressed by that, but if you say that's above average, they go, yeah, but look at the average American. They're stupid. It's like, yeah, but you're not accounting for... Actually, they're not. Because if 100 is the average, I'm pretty happy with that. Because 100 is not that bad, considering 70 can still articulate how dumb they are, you know? Like, if IQ people just magically... It's like that meme, that bell curve meme, where they show the drooling dumb guy on the left and the average guy in the middle with the stupid haircut, and then the guy on the right who's a genius, who looks like a wizard, and they both have something in common. The guy on the super smart guy and the super dumb guy are both the same. They both choose the same thing. So for some reason, if you're so dumb that you're like handicapped, you appear super like special, like gifted in some ways. Like you appear a lot smarter than the average person, because the average person just is like, okay, because they're dumb by comparison compared to a 70 IQ. A 70 IQ are just, they know that they're dumb, so they get smarter by virtue of knowing that they're so dumb that they just grow this away. It's weird. I just feel like most retarded people are smarter than average people because they're retarded. So that gives them the ability it forces them to learn how to adapt. So that gives them the skills to appear like they're not retarded. And I'm using that term medically, like in the correct way, that's not diminishing. And I'm not diminishing them. I'm saying that they're smart. I'm saying that retarded people tend to be actually like smarter than the average person, because the average person can just coast through life without sculpting their brain at all. They just have what they have, and they don't give a crap about adapting because they're average. They're boring average people. But there's average people who obviously adapt and become what appear to be like genius people, like entrepreneur. A lot of entrepreneur are just average intelligent people. They're not like geniuses. They just have this work ethic and grit and fortitude. And that's not really an IQ thing. It's just like, I want to do this and I don't give a crap about my limitations thing. And then they become rich, so everybody assumes that they're brilliant. Like Mark Cuban. I don't know. Is he brilliant that he just happened to sell before the .com bubble burst? I don't know. He's probably above average, but who cares? But he's not like a genius. Is he? Kevin O'Leary, he's not a genius, I don't think, but he's very opinionated. And the crypto thing, whatever, he makes some good points. He knows about wealth. Being wealthy is easy if you have a long timeline and a good temperament. If you have a long timeline and some capital to play with, or to, let's talk, I guess we're doing the finance update. If you're mentally retarded, not physically retarded, but mentally retarded, you can be a millionaire. You could make good money if you're mentally retarded. If you're physically retarded, you're screwed. Unless you're like Stephen Hawking and you have a thing that turns your thoughts into output. I feel bad for people that have that disease. Like ALS, like that comic that had it. I feel bad because like he was dying, but he still got treated as if he was just like a dude at a comedy club, but he was dying. Who cares? I just felt bad when I asked him something, when I had awkward interactions with him. because he couldn't really talk, but I was asking him a question and I couldn't get the answer from him fast enough. So it was like, I'll figure it out. That's probably like why it's like not a fun thing to be on the receiving end of. It's like somebody asks you a question, it's like it takes all this effort to answer it, and you don't even get the answer in time, so they just leave, and then you feel like they're an asshole for being impatient. But you don't want to be ignored either, right? You don't want to just be ignored. I was treating him like a normal person by asking him a question. Anyway, so ALS. If I get ALS, I wouldn't even last a week. The second it starts affecting my ability to walk, I'm dead. If I can't walk, how do people get through life without the ability to walk anywhere? Those people are heroes too. Like, those people are like, I put them in the same group as mentally retarded. We all do, but the reason why is because we look at them as special. Even if they're not dumb, they're still in the same category as dumb people, as mentally, not dumb, as mentally retarded, because they're special, they have special needs. And we look at them as like heroes for still participating in life despite their lacks, their whatever you want to call it, their disabilities. All disabled people we kind of put in the same group, even if they're Stephen Hawking level intelligence, because they need help, because like we wouldn't want to be them. It's kind of a weird way to look at things, or a group of people. It's like they're a minority. You know, I guess any minority is a minority for a reason. It's because we don't want to be them, so we don't make more of that. They stay minorities because nobody wants to be in that minority. Otherwise, they'd be the majority. We'd be like, oh, I want to be a disabled. Let's make more disabled people, and everybody will be disabled. But that's a topic for a different time. I think collectively we are kind of becoming more disabled, you know. But they say the opposite is true. They say actually we're becoming smarter as a species. You know, the average person is a lot smarter than somebody 50 years ago. But I don't quite believe that. Certainly not when it comes to reasoning abilities. Maybe when it comes to just in any way. I can't think of in any way how people now are smarter than people in the past. But, you know, so that's I just need to see the data on that, because people now are smooth-brained. Like, they don't get shook. But people back in the day, I guess they followed religion more, and that's dumb. Somebody calls himself Jesus, and you just go, oh, I believe you. I believe that you're Jesus then. Oh, you say you're Jesus Christ, and your mom was a virgin when she had you, but yet still, like, where did the semen come? I mean, where did the sperm come from? Like, if we had medicine back then, if we had microscopes back then and understood what pregnancy was, obviously you can't do that today. So I guess we're smarter, but only because we're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, because like these days, a Jesus couldn't just come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, my mom, she didn't get pregnant by a man. She got pregnant by the hand of God. The invisible hand of God inseminated her. It's like, well, because if you break it down, this isn't really, she had to have gotten some kind of sperm cell. Like, where did the DNA come from? Like, it couldn't just be implanted magically into the cell, into the egg. And if it was, that's just too magic. That's like magic. Too magical. You know? So anyway, religious people were, I guess, dumb. But there's people like that today that are still very cult. Like, they just follow, like, David Koresh or Trump. Like, there's a lot of Trumpians who just follow, they're in a cult, and they don't know that they're in a cult. They're dumb. They just follow this guy who doesn't have gives no crap about him. Some billionaire guy, criminal, and they go, well, he's our guy, and they will fight tooth and nail for this random blonde-haired guy, and they're in a cult. So they're dumb, but at least it's a cool cult. Like, at least it's a fun cult because they have boats and they know how to party. You know, they live in the small towns in America where nobody gives a crap about small towns in America. So if you pretend to, even if you just pretend to vouch, to be on their side, like screw all these big cities with all these, you know, looters and people just pretending to be cultural. No, the small towns, they have their own culture that nobody likes because it's, you know, just white people. So if you vouch for them, if you stand on it, people, they will love you because nobody does, because they're unspoken for, yet there's a lot of them, I guess. Because if you add up all these small towns and farms across America, that adds up to like a couple million people. So that's why country music is so played. People love country. Like, that's why there's still such a thing as country music. It's pretty popular because of bumfuck America. So that's why it's the same as Trump. Trump is the country singer of politics, and he's also not a politician. So that's why people like that guy. But, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm gonna, you know, anymore. I used to be. I don't support him anymore. You know, because he's a bad person. He's done bad things. He's a criminal. But I mean, I'm still gonna vote for him if that's all that. Maybe we'll see. I'm still gonna vote for him, and I still obviously. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I just don't support him. There's a difference between voting for the guy and liking him and supporting him. I still like him, kind of, don't support him, and will vote for him if Biden stops securing the border. But that brings me to the next topic, is that Biden is deploying, you know, he's defending the border by putting up the wall. So thankfully, he's doing a good job. Now that he's doing what Trump was going to do and secure the border and put kids in the cages and separate them from their family, it's like, well, maybe Biden actually is secretly a good president after all. We just don't know. And he's trying to cancel student debt, which I don't know if I support, because if you're dumb enough to have taken out a loan for a college degree, not realizing that it's just going to an institution that pumps out these degrees that don't get you anything, and you don't even want to do the job. Let's say you do that. Let's say you get a $70K loan for a college degree that you aren't going to use. You realize that the job market is more competitive or something. Do I have sympathy for that? No, because you chose to do that. It's like, well, you should have looked at the job market before getting a $70,000 loan, maybe. Like, mostly, like, I mean, unless if you really want the job and you're willing to be whatever job requires a degree. I can't think of it. Doctor, lawyer, teacher, and a few others require a degree. All the other ones are trades. You know, all the other ones you just learn on your own. And it's not about the knowledge, it's about like how good you are at it. Because you could be like a music engineer, producer, or audio engineer, and you could go to college for that, but you can also just learn that by doing it. And you got to be open to learning. Whatever, degrees, yeah, you know, you know, the economy. Let's stay on one topic at a time here, man. I'm just thinking about all these things are coming up as I'm talking about them, like college degree, like as you like learning by experience versus learning at an institution, you know, like, because you could be really good at a craft and totally learn it by apprentice. You have to just be willing to do the damn work in the first place. Then if you're good at it, to, like plumbers make bank. Garbage men, that's a craft. Destroying garbage is a craft. Picking it up and deciding what to do with it, that takes high-level intelligence, and it's just a hard job, So I respect garbage people, and that is a craft and a trade. It's a trade. Like sometimes you got to hire a garbage guy, and you look up who the best one is on Yelp. You sort by highest reviews, obviously, and everybody wants them. They got no availability. It's like, I can't pick up your trash, man. I'm ready to pick it up rich people's trash, and they, it's like trying to find a good doctor. All the good doctors are already just seeing celebrities. So it's like, dude, I ain't got, you want an appointment? Okay. If one of my celebrity patients drops out in the next 7 years, maybe you'll get one in 6. I'm booked 7 years ahead of it. See, doctors, regardless of if they need a degree or not, they probably do, because there's a boilerplate level of knowledge that you probably want them to have, and it shows that they're able to at least get through medical school. But aside from that, I don't think that's all it takes to be a good doctor, to just go to medical school and get good grades. Now you gotta also have this ability to keep learning and adapt. It's tough to be a good doctor, because also you gotta, how much energy do you want to put into each patient? It's like, I'm a good doctor, but I don't got time for everybody that just happens to come to me. It's like, okay, you're my patient, but I've a lot of them. So it's like, you got to decide, how many patients can I look after? That's part of being a good doctor, because if you just take anybody, it's like, okay, 5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. If I can't solve your problem in 5 minutes, sorry. So that's the same thing as being a therapist. A good therapist probably shouldn't have like 600 patients at the same time, because they want to remember. But who cares about? I mean, that's a real job. That's like a job that pays big bucks, because it's hard. I guess therapist is not nearly as hard, but it is. But like, if they're a good one, that's more subjective. It's more. All a good therapist is somebody that's good at validating somebody's narcissism, because if you're good at that, they'll keep going. If you make them feel good about themselves and boost their ego, they'll keep going. That's an easy job if you have empathy, or at least if you have pseudo empathy, if you have the ability to understand. Like, you could be a sociopath. I'm not saying empathy in that you have to be a good person. You have to at least understand other people's emotions. If you understand other people's emotions, you'll be a great therapist, because you'll just tell them that they're correct to have them at any given time. You won't make them feel like judged for having these whatever emotions. So that's all being a good therapist. It's just like, okay, yeah, you were right to be angry. You were correct that this person's a douchebag who didn't, give you props for whatever, that didn't suck your dick. You're correct. It's all it takes to be like, fuck that guy. That person didn't want to date you. That person, broke up with you. Fuck that guy. That's all it takes to be a good, fuck that guy, and fuck all men. You can say whatever you think will help. And that's all being a good therapist is. But being a good doctor, a little more difficult. Being a good lawyer, now that is a difficult job, because there's actually something that determines very plainly if you're good at it. If you get somebody off murder, you're good at it. If you got somebody charged with murder, or whatever the hell the phraseology, if you get somebody sentenced for death who didn't do anything wrong, that's probably a bad lawyer. Anyway, yeah, lawyers actually get shit done, and that's why they charge a shitload of money. You could pay a lawyer like $100,000 just to have them look up if something's legal or not. It's like, is this legal? What's the correct way to do this? That could cost like $1 million just to know if you're doing something properly. So anyway, let's get into something that actually matters. Okay, finance. We kind of touched on it. Death, but nothing is. So I've been staying in a lot. This is a blog portion of the video where I talk about my life. My life is very eventful. I do a lot. I have a busy schedule. That's why I haven't been able to do this in the past month. Is because I don't. It's not because I am going out. There's nothing really to go out for, but that's worth the risk of injury. Because the thing about outside, that's where bad stuff happens. Nothing bad has ever happened to anybody at home. I can't think of it, So going out, the thing that worries me is like, okay, I'm going out for what? What's the reward of driving on a highway? It's got to be at least like a 4 to 5 figure reward. I got to be paid a lot of money or gratitude or narcissist passion. Like, it's got to be someone like sucking my dick, figuratively or literally, to get out of my house and risk physical injury or death by a crazed post-vax mental retard. And by that, I mean somebody who is now mentally retarded, who started off average and now floated downstream to where they're even worse. They're like dumber than average, and they're not special. They're just dumb. They haven't adapted. They're too old to adapt. See, people that are born mentally retarded have time in their youth, they're young, and they have the ability to adapt. If you're 50, God forbid, and you take some vax that makes you lose your cognitive function or whatever the hell happened to you to make you lose your you get some virus that does it. And and you just get these urges to kill people randomly. I don't want to be around those people because they haven't they're screwed. They're like that forever now. They're like zombies. They're dangerous people. So I don't go out because I'm worried about people, like somebody like shooting me out of road rage. And that happens sometimes. People just get shot just for like not driving fast enough, So it's like, yeah, I could do that. I could go out and risk that for not getting it. There's nothing going on. There's nothing going on out. I just think it's ridiculous that you could get killed just for trying to go from point A to point, just from trying to go somewhere. That's what you're paying the price of death for. It's like, well, I wanted to go somewhere. So I got killed because I did it in a way that caused somebody to murder me. It caused somebody to commit murder because I was trying to go somewhere. That was the crime I commit. So it just seems kind of like a little bit uneven. Seems a little bit out of proportion for me to just be like, okay, roll the dice. So you want to go somewhere, whether it be the grocery store or some social event or something, your job. And what do you get? Well, you're rolling the dice. You might get killed, by the way, just to go to your job. I think that's like a bug in society that we got to kind of sort out. If it's possible to get murdered, even if it's like a 1 in a million chance, which it's way less than, it's way better than that to get killed in Texas. It's way more than a 1 in 1 million chance. It's probably like a 1 in 10,000 chance to get murdered just by going somewhere. So I don't do that. It's a bug. We got to fix that. They're building bigger highways, which makes people more aggressive. If there's more freedom of which lane to choose, that actually makes people more violent on the highway. It actually does the opposite of what you would think. You would think freedom would tame people, would like make people less crazy. It's the opposite. Freedom actually makes people more violent. So we need to live in a constrained society where it's like either my way or the highway. Either you take this tiny little cramped tube, like subways. if your only option is a subway, you're going to behave on that. You're going to shoot people on the subways. Occasionally, you get a weirdo on there. But the open highways, that's lawless. That's completely a lawless part of society. So we got to fix that. I think it's stupid. And also, you don't got to go anywhere. There's people that are more desperate than you in pretty much any situation. If you need to nobody needs to go to the grocery store anymore, because you can just get people that are, tougher financial, that are willing to take that risk for you. So if they will die to get my groceries, I commend them, and I'll tip them a lot. I'll tip them extra if they happen to die before the food gets to me. Because afterwards, I don't know. The app doesn't tell me what happens after. But if it's on the way to me and then another guy replaces it, I would still be mad, to be honest, because I wouldn't have gotten my food. And if the app gives me a notification saying that the person died on the way, I would be like, okay, so when's my food coming? Are you going to send a guy to pick it up off the ground, and salvage it? Or will I get a reorder, instantly, obviously, for free? So can you instantly send me a new order so I could just get on my way and get it in maybe another 2 hours? But, so yeah, that would be inconvenient. But I would be like, okay, they died. They probably messed up. See, there's very little sympathy in this world because I don't know the person. It's just some rando. If they get killed on the highway, I would be like, well, I don't know what happened. I don't know the situation. Did they get murdered, or did they get themselves killed by driving stupidly or texting and driving? So I don't know. So I don't know. That's why it's a lose-lose, basically, to be a food runner. And if that's your job, people look down at you. It's like, that's what you're a delivery driver? It's like, nope, I am more than a delivery driver. I actually shop for the person too. I actually have to pick out each item. I have to go through the store for somebody else. It has nothing to do with what I want. Usually when you go to a store, you're the one choosing what to get off the shelf. No, these people, they go to a store for somebody else. They have this shopping list that is for a completely different. They would be like, what the hell is it? That's probably the worst part of it, is you go to a store. It's like, oh, maybe I'll get. Nope, this is your job. Your job is to get stuff that you would never buy. And you don't even get anything out of it except for $2 or, a few dollars per trip, and hope that they tip maybe. Then you got to go to their house and hope that they don't have some murderous dog. You're going to get murdered eventually, but whether it's by a guy on the street, maybe a guy in the store, or the person themselves that you're getting the food for might have a dog that they think is not a dangerous dog because the dog was socialized with their scent. See, people are really dumb. They think that, oh, well, the dog likes me, so that means it likes everybody. Forget the fact that it's an animal that was literally bred to kill people, besides the one that they were grown up with. Forget that, because I'm too stupid to even have it go across my mind. Why would I remember something that's not in there to begin with? It's a dog. It loves me because it recognizes my scent, which is baked into its DNA. It's baked into its subconscious. Dogs have subconsciouses. It's baked into the dog's psychology to think that I'm its mom. So it's not going to kill me no matter what, unless it got spooked or something, because it had, they do that even. They get spooked all the time by a weird noise, and then they bite the owner, and they go, oh, it's the owner. Sorry, it's too late now because you already got a really bad, deep gash in your arm. But anyway, so you might get killed by the person that that you're delivering the stupid food for that you judge already. You already hate the person because they're buying all this crap that you don't even think is good. Like, who the hell eats this? Who eats that flavor of potato chips, man? It's like, got the worst flavor of potato chips. Like, who the hell? I didn't even know these things existed. Who the hell buys this flavor of popcorn? So you deliver all this junk and you hate the person, then they have this horrible dog. Anyway, so it's a horrible job, and you get judged for it, like I'm doing right now. I'm saying that sucks. Like, I don't look down on you. I have empathy. I feel bad for you, but you can't offer anything more to society other than to go to a store for somebody else who's at home jerking off. That's what you have to contribute to society. That's your value. You're only doing it for money, obviously. Because if you had another way to make money, nobody would do this job. Some jobs nobody would do if they didn't pay. Not a single soul would be an Instacart shopper if it didn't pay. Instacart is a soulless company because nobody is proud to be an Instacarter, because nobody would do it for free. And that's no job. That's a job. It's not a career. It's not like a thing to be passionate about. You know, man, how could you be passionate? I'm sure if you are passionate about being a personal shopper, whatever the hell they call themselves, good on you, because I couldn't do it. I would be like, who the hell buys this flavor of nacho sauce? Olive flavored nacho, has olives in the nacho sauce already, just in there. That's disgusting. And I gotta buy it and pretend that it's something I would buy? What if the cashier thinks it's me buying it? That's humiliating. And then I gotta tell them, this is not for me. This is my job to deliver food to other people. It's like, well, that's even worse than if it was yours. Why don't you just not say anything? Because I'm judging you even worse now. You're guilty by association, man. Just the fact that it's your job to cater to slobs who eat olive flavored nachos, that makes me already kind of look down on you. So you could have just said it was for you. You could have just smiled and said, I can't wait to get home and eat a whole bucket full of olive-flavored nacho sauce. And add olives as well, because I like the texture of olives as well. So I want the cheese to have olive flavor baked into it. And I also want olives because I have this disgusting sense of taste and humor. And anyway, I feel bad for those people because they don't have anything else to offer to society, and that's because some people are average intelligent. They don't have like the mindset or the creative. They're not entrepreneurs. Forget about that. But they're not even craftspeople. They don't even offer a trade. They don't sit in a workshop and pump out, something practical that people need to purchase in the open market, like this iPad stand. Somebody worked hard to craft this iPad stand in a factory with very dangerous machinery, and they made it, and they competed on the open market and succeeded in making in a sale, and hopefully made a profit. That's entrepreneurism and a craftsman as well. I don't know. But if somebody just sells plumbing services or whatever the hell, I can't think of a craft. Welder or line person. Somebody that goes on power lines and tries not to get killed doing that. See, that at least has merit and respect, because it's dangerous. You could get murdered and struck by lightning. You could get murdered by natural cause, by God, acts of God, natural causes too. I guess you could have a heart attack, while up there. That's terrifying, you know. Can you imagine being an epileptic linesman, a guy that goes on the power lines and has epilepsy? Oh, fuck, I'm having a seizure. And then falls and you're hanging by a wire, literally dangling there by your safety harness. Like, fuck, where am I? And you wake up and say, oh, shit, I'm outside. I'm hanging from a power line. This is my job? It is pretty cool. And then you have kids, and your kids look up to you. Literally, they see you hanging there. Well, he's up. That's my dad. I'm proud of him. Because that's a real craftsman right there. He learned a trade. Yeah, that's him dangling there because I have an epileptic lightning guy. He got struck by lightning and then he got a seizure just by the surge. That's like a hero, you know? A dude up there, epileptic, a guy with epilepsy climbing on these high beams, hoping that he's latched on correctly. Otherwise, he falls to his death because he doesn't let the storm in his brain prevent himself from saving people from the storms in the clouds. The thunderstorms in the clouds. He saves people from losing power during those kinds of storms. Meanwhile, he's got his own electrical storm in his brain, and he lost consciousness while trying to fix the damn transformer up there. And he falls, and he wakes up, and he waves to his kids, man. Because his kids just happen to be in the same part of town that he's working in for some reason, you know? It's during a storm. It's like completely black, like raining, hailing. And he wakes up, and he sees his kids down there. And his kids smile and wave at him, and they tell their other stupid friend, that's my dad. He's waking up from a seizure during a storm. He's our hero. What does your dad do? Oh, he's an Uber driver? Whoopee. What? Oh, so he doesn't even leave the ground. So he just drives on the ground. Whoopee. And then what? People get mad at him and rate him. You can't review a lineman because the lineman don't play by those rules. They're off the grid. They're off the damn grid, man. Can't review. Can't be like, that lineman, I'm going to give him a bad review. 1-star review. I'm going to report him to DoorDash. That lineman, he's hanging there because he had a seizure. He's just literally just swinging back and forth with the wind. He looks dead. He's twitching a little bit. I don't know if he got electrocuted. That's what I would think. I'm going to give him a 1-star review. You can't do that because he's a hero to society. He's giving you the ability to live on the grid while he lives off the grid in the sky, despite his mental illness of epilepsy, which is a mental illness because it makes you think all sorts of random crap when you're having a seizure. That's mental. So anyway, then the Uber driver gets 1-star reviews for simply not having sex with the passenger in their car, you know? They call them packs. Oh, the packs, man. Fuck these packs. P-A-X. They can't even... That's what they call them. They gotta call them something, and they're passengers, so they shorten it to packs. You do them, I don't know. Linemen, they don't have to talk about the clients. The stupid passengers. Linemen are real men. Remove the line part, and that's what they really are. If you see a lineman, you can just be like, oh, I know what that means. It's a man. Because the line part, you could just take out. Be like, oh, that's a man. So, but because a lineman, they don't complain about like, oh, these stupid passengers, man. These stupid power users, man. They keep using the power, man. I hate how they never tip me, man. They never tip me when I'm hanging there from the wires, man. When I connect these wires super well and I weld something together, they never give me a tip. Yeah, because they're too busy sucking your dick for being a hero. Linemen, if you fix somebody's power, you never get a thank you. Nobody ever goes, oh man, I'm going to tip my lineman. It's anonymous. It's completely anonymous. But the next time you see a lineman fixing a transformer that just exploded, ask them if they would like to have their dick sucked. And if so, find somebody to suck their dick, unless you want to do it yourself. Because I'm just saying, it's like a job that goes... It doesn't matter if it's underappreciated, though, because they... I don't know. I guess we should appreciate them. It's like firefight. I don't know, man, because firefighters, you can't review either. You can review cops. Whatever. Cops, totally different story. You can't review individual cops, man. That's a totally different subject for another episode. The police brutality, the police cabal of like, oh, you know, you can't police the police, man. So they're not as heroic as linemen, man, because if a cop has a seizure, they're just going to be bad at their job. See, you can't be good at your job if you have epilepsy and you're a cop. You'll be chasing somebody on the highway doing 100 miles an hour. All of a sudden you have a seizure? Are you kidding me? You're gonna be, the guy's gonna get away or steal your car, or, you know. So that's bad to have epilepsy for every job, but you know, but the cop, we gotta respect the boys in blue. To, you know, I don't want to act like this is a totally, like I'm not a bootlicker. Like I am a deep bootlicker, but so I don't want to go with that being left unsaid. Like I am, of course, a bootlicker, because I think they're hot. I just think men in uniform and women, I just think it's hot. You know, that's it. It's not like I support everything about them. I just think it's just like kind of like a thing I find attractive. So technically, yes, I'm a bootlicker in the sense that I do that. I literally like to lick boots because it's like turns me on. It's kind of like a foot fetish thing, similar thing. It's not because I look up to them as like an authority, like I bow to the authority. That's part of it, though. That's hot. That's part of it. It's part of the fetish of like women or men in uniforms because they have this authoritative look about them, but then you sexualize them, and that's why it's hot. That's why I'm a bootlicker. But it's kind of different from the way that other people use the term. They call people a lot of people hate the police. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of people want to live in a better society where police either don't exist or they're better at their job and less violent and brutal. And just better. So if you support the police, they'll call you a bootlicker, and that's it. That's all they'll do. Is be, well, you're a bootlicker. You're one of them. Like, well, no, because I couldn't be a cop, but I just realized that they have a hard job, and so I respect the part of the job that's very difficult. The fact that they want to do a horrible job see, that's even worse than being a DoorDash driver. So like, if that makes, so yeah, that's what they say. If you say anything supportive of police, it's like, well, that's a tough job. I would never want to be a cop. They have a hard job, and we should probably not all label them as evil people, you know, on an individual. Well, you're a bootlicker. You're a bootlicker. It's like, okay, well, that's why you're a DoorDasher. I'd rather be a bootlicker than a DoorDashing. That's a slur. Calling, like, the company itself is named a slur for something you wouldn't want to be called. Well, look at this fucking DoorDashers mucking up the neighborhood. What are you, just a DoorDasher driving by? Get out of that fucking neighborhood, you fucking DoorDasher. DoorDasher is like a slur that's like more offensive than bootlicker. Bootlicker is like, okay, sounds kind of cool. The act of licking a boot is worse than dashing to somebody's door. You're dashing. Oh, I gotta get to somebody's door. I gotta get to a stranger. You're dashing to strangers' doors all the time. DoorDasher, forget the literal translation. We already talked about what it is in nitty-gritty detail. DoorDasher means you have no life. You have no contribution to, you have no value to society. So all you do is pick up other people's trash, future trash, that they're gonna use to turn into waste. It's people's future waste. All you're doing is picking it up from one place to the other. That's a DoorDasher. Garbage men are at least have the pride to do it after it's already turned into waste. And everybody, I mean, they're totally different things. Garbage people have like a sense of pride. They're removing the scourge of society. They're removing a negative. They're not just delivering something that's going to turn into a negative, man. It's future waste. That's all groceries are. It's all fast food is. It's waste that hasn't been processed into waste. Garbage men do the opposite. They take the waste and they turn it into good. They deposit it deep into the ground's earth where we never see it again because there's no such thing as geography. There's no such thing as geological events. There's no such thing as plate tectonics or earthquakes or erosion. Everything stays, once something's underground deep enough, and it's, has like concrete around, nobody ever really has to deal with it ever again. So it's really, they're doing a good job. Some of it ends up in the ocean. That's because people don't know how to use it, dispose of it properly. It's not the garbage men are the heroes of the environment. DoorDashers are just throwing shit around. But never mind that. It's not what they're actually, it's just the fact that that's it. You're just a DoorDash, and you're calling me a bootlicker just because I have some respect towards a job that actually has a semblance of dignity to it, and it's a necessity. That's what you're calling me. You have your opinion that you think I care what you call me, when you're literally not even as a joke. Like, this is not even me just insulting you. You're literally a DoorDasher. Like, that's not even like an insult. I'm just saying it. I'm calling it as it is, plain and clear. You would put this on your W-2 or your tax form. I'm a DoorDasher. Like, this is not even like an insult for me to just point out the fact that it is indeed all you are. You're nothing but a DoorDasher. You can't do anything else. You don't have any other hobbies. DoorDashers are just DoorDashers. They don't have any other hobbies because they can't afford to have hobbies, man. They're making $4 an hour. They barely make bank to cover their gas bill. They could barely get around town. They could barely afford to even do the job of DoorDashing because their car breaks down. Also, they have no social lives too, because they can't afford that, because those are the hot times to do DoorDash. Anytime it's a good time to do socializing is the best time to be a DoorDash. Oh, Saturday night, I'm busy. This is when a DoorDash does well. This is when people with actual social lives ordered food on DoorDash. Can't party with you. Up 6 p.m. The only time I can be free as a DoorDasher is 4 in the morning. But even then, there's a lot of stoners. All holidays are off. Like, I can't do any holiday. Yeah, DoorDashers have no lives. And so they're only DoorDashers. So that's what they are. So, like, do I need to hear their opinions on how I feel about... Do I care about their opinions? Yes, as much as I care about the opinion of a squirrel. Or of a turtle. Or of a, even bigger animal like a tarantula or a rhinoceros. I don't care about the opinions of any of those animals, of a whale. I don't care what a whale has to say about me and my opinions. Oh, they don't like my opinions, so they call me a bootlicker. Well, that just makes them a bigot. And I don't care if you're an octopus. I don't care if you're a shell-based animal, like a shellfish, or like I already said tarantula. That's how I think of DoorDashers and their opinions. Like, I value their opinions as much as I value the opinion of an inanimate object. They just happen to have the ability to talk. The only difference is that they have the ability to talk. DoorDashers are basically like a I have more respect for the food that they deliver than the DoorDashers. Is this a non-universal opinion? We all obviously don't give a crap about who the person that's delivering. I don't care if they die on the way to my house. As long as I get the food, then that's it. If I don't, like, it's about the food. The thing bringing the food to me could be a grizzly bear. For all I give a crap. It could be a robot. The only thing that separates food from DoorDashers is DoorDashers are inedible and they have opinions that I don't need to hear. They're everything that food isn't. Food doesn't have opinions. They're not bigots that call me bootlicker, you know? And they also food tastes good. So DoorDashers, the only thing they're good for is having legs and arms and, you know, the ability to follow instructions. So that's not even a brain. You could have a ganglia. You don't even need a brain. You could be a robot. If light turns green, it means go. If this address goes into my phone, I turn right here, pick up the name, and they have to read the name on the bag. Okay, it says his name. That's the name it says on the app. They have to have basic if-then logic in their brain. You know? Like basically the equivalent of BASIC. The programming language from the 70s. They have to have the equivalent of a very, very primitive programming language. Basically the same intelligence level as a butterfly. And arms and legs. They can't do it if they're physically retarded. And, you know, that's why physically retarded people are better than DoorDashers, because at least they will never stoop to that level of being a Can you imagine getting a DoorDash driver who has a wheelchair? Like, he gets out of his car with, like, a crane. And he wheels. That's my impression of a wheelchair. And then he drops the food off, doesn't ring the doorbell off, you know, does the correct delivery. And you open it, you see you hear the sound of a squeaky wheelchair, you know, facing the opposite direction. And then you just see this huge van open like a futuristic spaceship. And then a crane comes down. And that's the sound of the door closing for some reason. It goes, eh! And then he turns on and then he just drives off. Maybe it's a self-drive. That would be a TikTok video with like 1,000,000 views. Because you'd be like, why the hell does he need to? Why the hell? You might as well just have the car might as well just deliver the food. Why have the guy get out in a wheelchair if he's in a very futuristic crane car? A car equipped with a crane. Why not just have it do that with the food? So that'd be cool. That would be cool. You know, a guy in a wheelchair doing DoorDash and he's faster than people who have legs. What about like a double amputee or quadruple amputee? What about somebody who's fully amputated? like a full amputee. Like he's as amputated as you could get. Everything's been amputated. Like, what do you call those people? You call them like stumps or something? You call them, what do you call those people? Not half men. You call them like stumpers. But anyway, what if those guys, and they're just using their chin. They're just like clenching their chin to their neck to get, to hold the food. And they're just hopping over from whatever contraption of a vehicle they came from, where you don't even need limbs to drive it or get into it. And you just see them hopping over with your... See, those DoorDashers, I would never call DoorDashers. I would call them door heroes. Because that's not a bad... Because that's, like, impressive, and that's, like, you are... Like, I support that. That's, like, the equivalent of being a 70-level IQ person who's adapting to his disabilities, man. So those people I would clap for and give 1,000% tip until the gimmick gets old, of course. I would do it like the first time, and then it would drop to 20%, and then I would do 15. But the first time I would see somebody like a full amputee, a potato. I think they're just called potatoes. Hopping over, I would be like, damn, you're not a DoorDasher. You're a... Sorry, I was waiting for the alarm to stop, and then I realized I can't think of a smarter word for door. You're a gate hero. I don't know, like you're a estate manager. You're somebody who manages a manor, a state, like a very stately person. I'm trying to think of like a very aristocratic. You're an aristocrat. So anyway, but if you're just an average person with full working limbs, and you're a DoorDasher, you do you. I don't judge you by default. I'm saying I'm talking about the ones that voice their opinions on Reddit that go, you're a bootlicker. You're a bootlicker for liking people that have a harder job than me, that have a real job. I don't care about your opinion, man. You're a DoorDasher. That's even worse. You're literally a door. See, that's all you have to say next time somebody calls you a bootlicker. It's like, well, you're a door. Even if they're not, they probably are. Because anybody who actually does something in society that actually matters, they kind of want the cops to exist. So they would never be the person to use the term bootlicker. Usually a DoorDasher or worse. And I don't know what's worse than a DoorDasher. Maybe somebody just lives with their parents. I don't know how you could have an opinion that is less relevant than a DoorDasher, but I guess that would be it. Somebody just lives with their parents. Whoo, man! So anyway, I think that was enough to talk about. We didn't really need to talk about myself on this pod. It's boring, and I'm a DoorDasher. Let's just come clean. That's why I don't really have. I have not enough to talk about in my own respect. And so that's why I talked about other DoorDashers that have worse opinion, that are just like bigots. And anyway, so that was it. Death by road rage. Hope it doesn't happen to me or you. If you're watching this on the road, bring a gun in case somebody, not to use it on people, but if somebody shoots you, at least you'll have something to shoot back. Never be the first one to shoot like Han Solo. Never pull a Han Solo. If we can learn anything from that movie, it's to never be like never pull a Han Solo. But anyway, it's nice to have something to shoot back with if you're already getting killed. If you're already in the process of being murdered, it's like, okay, at least I shot back. So anyway, that was the episode. Thanks for watching episode 87 of the Tim Facts Bomb Show. Have a good rest of the week. All right. Peace, love, and that's it.